So that's really promising. It's nice to see that the 4G connection can work. I'm using a 4G connection for this, by the way. A lot of people say that you can't stream or can't play games on 4G, but you can. When it's not congested, it does work really good. This works better than satellite internet. Ping is much less on this compared to satellite internet. Completely playable for sure. It's only an issue when you're at peak hours, but then even like, if you've got cable internet, you have issues sometimes with congestion. In fact, Dimmy showed me that he had 3 megabits per second once in Melbourne, Australia, during some times of the day. That's really bad. But not anymore though, he now has like a gigabit connection. Not needed though, I don't think anyone needs gigabit internet, if I'm honest. I just don't think anyone needs it. I mean, it's nice to have, but I think 50 megs is all you need for basically anything. Unless you want to like download a Steam game in a minute. But if you've got like a gigabit connection, that's even faster than transferring data from a hard drive. So I guess if you've got like cloud storage, you can use your internet connection instead of like buying physical drives. Maybe that's the pro of it. Senna wins the fight there, but I don't think Rex made an engineer. Blue GDI, it's nice, man. Man, it's not just any old blue. This is the 4K mod blue GDI with a hostile negotiator shader, where it shades the shadowed areas less bright than the lit-in areas. It accounts for shadows and specular light. Very advanced stuff. It's a modified version of the Tip Wars 1. Much deeper blues as well, you can see. It's not purple. If you have Photoshop or any like editing program, when you go into Vanilla Kane Draft, screenshot the blue refinery for GDI, you go into that program, use the eyedropper tool, you're going to see it's purple. It's going to tell you that it's purple. Because it is purple, because it blends the orange in behind it. Because in the original game, this had orange behind the house color, and that blended with the blue, which resulted in it appearing purple pink. The way it works in this is completely different. Has nothing to do with how it is in Kane's Wrath. But it's much better because you can see it's clearly blue. There's no confusing it. Expansion coming down for Rex. He gets down a third refinery. He's like, screw that buzzer. I'm just going to sell that squad off. Seeker's coming out here for Senna. He's going for a push, probably taking blue tip behind it. That's usually what happens. The harvesters now look like they do in Tiberium Wars. The reason why I put the player color on top of the harvester like it is in Tip Wars is because when it's on top of Tiberium, it's sometimes hard to see whose harvester it belongs to. So visibility for me was a big part of the project. That's why the APCs have a more translucent garrison slot, so that when it bugs, you can still see the infantry icon a little bit clearer. Too bad Bonus Rue doesn't play anymore. Yeah. But there's so many other players that are good. It wouldn't have changed anything as far as competing with Bike Rush. He never really did well against Bike Rush to begin with. In fact, I did better than him against Bike Rush when he played, so it's not going to change all that much. He had some fun games. Oh wow, Traveler. That's what happens at 4 o'clock in the morning. you just forget what you're up against, and then, yeah, all the harvesters don't go down. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, damn, that was really, really clutch. Now, he did pay for it. These harvesters, even though 2 went down there, that could have been a lot worse, all things considered. That shadow tank came out just in the nick of time. But yeah, that's basically it. He teched up to tier 3 and didn't even spam any units to support that. And saying he's just walking all over Rex now. He's got the spike in the bottom, the spike in the top. I don't know how Senna does this, man. He's full power. Isn't it like 4 o'clock in the morning for him? He's focusing really hard. He wants to achieve total victory. Senna with that macro mode enabled. He's over here with units. He's over here with units. He's just all over the place. Senna powering up. Oh, terrible. I think Senna even got the cell. That's GG. Senna taking another win. It's all Senna at the moment. Black Hand versus Trav. Looks like Senna's going to take another game. Senna, he's warmed up now. I think he's in prime position to take another game. I just feel like it. I feel like he's just going to walk all over Rex now. But we shall see. Hopefully Rex checks the barracks or the war factory and sees these up against Traveler, because that's a mistake that even I make nowadays. I just forget to check, and then I just finally realize that I'm against Traveler, and then by then it's too late because there's so many synths coming to me. I lose all my harvesters. Or even worse, cultists come in. Black Hand though is a faction. Black Hand versus Traveler, typically a balanced matchup. It's a little bit better in R19 now. I think Scorpion tanks and buggies can do some real damage in this matchup. Before they didn't do too much. I mean, if Senna takes this game in convincing fashion, I'm going to go off. I want to see a closer game this time. If Senna just bashes him, I'm off. So let's hope that that doesn't happen. No one taking these defensive towers. Very simple map from Technique, but it has aged very well. A lot of people play it. I've always wondered how he did this perfect circle here on the map. As you can see, these paths form a perfect circle on the mini-map. He had a method of doing this. It's quite clever. He was a really clever person. 3D modeler. You don't see maps of this quality. Like, he had some technique, so to speak, when it came to map making. I think he even used height maps and even modeled the map in his 3D program and then just made a height map of it and then imported it into World Builder, and all the terrain is done for him already. He just needs to texture it. There were several unreleased maps that he had which looked really nice. There was one called Tournament Oasis. It looked really cool. Flat map, of course, very reminiscent of his other maps, but nonetheless nice. Would have been nice to have it. Maybe I should PM him and see if I can get that map. Probably doesn't have it anymore on his computer. He, of course, deletes Kane's Wrath, but even if you uninstall Kane's Wrath, the files still get left over in your folders. You know, if Technique came back, I would find renewed motivation to try a bit more. Because he was someone who just pushed me, and I was determined to do well when he was around. Rex doing good with this micro. You have to continuously click with the bikes or else some of them will get left behind. A bit of a bug in this engine. Senna's just... what faction is he again? Traveler once more, so there's going to be more descents coming out. Rex should know what's up by now. He should have checked the war factory and needs to go for infantry, I reckon, with the Black Disciples. But Senna, he's already almost done on that advanced artillery upgrade, going for those assimilators, going to capture presumably the expansion point, or he could take the defensive tower. That's an option for him as well. Senna doing a multi-prong attack, so he's splitting up his forces. Rex needs to be very vigilant here. He's going for Scorpion tanks, but he doesn't have any anti-infantry. He should have by now seen the descents heading his way. A lot of bike buggy there. He's frantically trying to queue defensive towers. Needs to focus a bit more. Senna is just all over him. And he's going to hit him in the expansion tip field, and it's going to be disastrous because he doesn't have any anti-infantry here to defend against these Disintegrators. Senna already over here with an expansion. He's getting down a refinery for that field. I bet this is a fourth refinery about to come down on this expansion tip field. Yeah, he's just totally in command of this game. So how many halves were killed there? I do wonder. Rex needs to focus his harvesters a bit more. He needs to pull that one back, because if it gets destroyed, that's bad. Senna's not microing his harvesters. Rex got away pretty clean there, considering he didn't really have much of an anti-infantry response. Rex struggling. Is there a tech center down? No, but the pressure is relentless from Senna. He's just continuing to send stuff in. More Disintegrators and Seekers coming in. He's just suiciding in this stuff. More and more of these units being pushed in. And yeah, more of these houses being destroyed since coming in. I think like Rex has just switched off the past few games, really. I would be surprised if he somehow manages to turn this one around. How many halves does he have left? He's got 4 here. Getting hit again from his expansion. Senna just going ham. What do you do at this point? I wonder. Mechapede's out. Prodigy as well. Expect to see that come out soon. Should have had Raider buggy spam. Raiders are amazing as Traveler. You need them to stop the infantry. Raider buggies and flame tanks with some infantry. Definitely the way to go. Finally goes infantry, but it's a bit too late. You needed the Black Disciples before. Would have helped that attack easily. Would have just completely shut it down. Wouldn't have lost any harvesters. 2 refineries though for him. He's not getting the quad turret upgrade. It's an expensive upgrade. I think I maybe over nerfed it, guys. What do you think? Is $1,500 45 seconds too much? I was a bit concerned that it would be a overpowered upgrade, but I think it's good to have it this way. So it's very situational. It's not something you just get all the time. Because it does provide you value long term. So you need to put down more than one turret to get some value out of it. Nice micro there from Rex. Is he going for an upgrade? He's going for something. Dozer blades, presumably. Double ref for Senna. Takes the expansion point. Has both defensive towers on this map. A lot of infantry moving in. The MCV pushes forward for Rex. Mechapedes responding. Senna has 5 Mechapedes. Let's see how good Rex's force firing is with those infantry. He has to be pretty godly. Needs to take out this force with extreme accuracy. First wave of infantry doesn't accomplish anything. No, the upgrades were just nerfed. The charged particle beams and tip core upgrade was nerfed on the base defense. It was nerfed by the amount so that you need the quad turret upgrade to do the same with those tier 3 upgrades. But the pre-tier 3 is the same. It's just I deemed it a good opportunity to tone down the effectiveness of those base defenses, because they were pretty ridiculous. And they feel right now. They feel just about right. Plus everyone gets quad turrets in the game, which we haven't had since forever. In fact, not one point in Kane's draft history have players been able to upgrade quad turrets and not have a desync occur. Not only do we not have desyncs, but we have fixed animations. All the bones that had wrong references and all that stuff has been fixed. So not only the quad turret desync things, but all of the bugs associated with quad turrets were also fixed. Didn't get the upgrade though. Maybe worthwhile, hard to say. One flame tank around the side would be good. Could send it in here and kill those refineries. There's a lot of mechapedes out. Now, I was told that they're about what might be over nerfed. Nothing's over nerfed. It's just if you made quad turrets a DPS improvement over the charged particle beam shredder turrets, they would just crush vehicles like nothing. You couldn't go for infantry spam or even tier 1 light vehicle spam. Even now you will struggle to do that, but can you imagine if that wasn't compensated for? It would ruin the gameplay, I think. Not the sort of gameplay that people want to see. Nothing but base defenses and MCVs. That was the very thing that R19 wanted to address. That's why the fence bug got fixed. Fence bug, yeah, because the buff to the armor was permanent. No crashing with mechas. Nice though with that EMP. Unfortunately nothing there to kill them, but nonetheless very nice. Actually, there's a bunch of infantry here. How did he get all this infantry? Rex has so much. But he doesn't have any eco now. He's lost all of his harvesters. There's a lot of infantry, but you know what? Senna is just going to plant down hives for days. If he had quad turrets and particle beams, could have planted down those and countered the buzzers coming in. MCV moving in. Needs to start dropping those watchtower shredder turrets so he can start countering the buzzer hive buzzers. Phase field as well would be a problem, because what he'll do is he'll just phase field some of these gunwalkers and crush the infantry while the mechapedes move in and kill the rest. That's what I can see happening here. I feel like it doesn't even matter if these mechapedes fall, because there's just not enough infantry to win the game. Valiant effort though. Buzzer hives are closing in. Gunwalker's getting some free shots off there. And I believe there's no harvesting for Rex. I think he's struggling for funds. Senna didn't capture his spikes. And Senna's just going to go up in here and make sure that there's no harvesters left over. Make a piece finish off that. So many buzzer hives now. Senna still has his drone ship and his tech center. That's how many hives are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 buzzer hives. He's got so many buzzer hives that he's killing a shredder turret with the buzzer hives. It's just a crazy amount of anti-infantry. Buzzer swarm even coming in. And I expect Rex to throw in the GG now. Senna rallying harvesters over to the left-hand side. so he can leech some of that Tiberium. Senna is playing versus Rex. Senna has been dominant this game. I feel like there was a few build order mistakes from Rex. He didn't react quickly enough to the infantry that harassed him earlier. That's a killer when you play Traveler. You need to make sure that you're on top of that sort of thing. Yeah, there's a player from the Chinese community who recently has been playing on C&C Online. Wow, these buzzer high buzzers just kill those shredder things quickly, don't they? That's just buzzers. And the free gun walkers. Not as close as that game I had on Dustbowl. Well, there you go. That answers everyone's question whether mechapedes crash or not. They don't. It was fixed. It's been known to have been fixed for a while. But yet, you know, people like Judge insist that there's still crashes when there's none. I don't remember who he played 4 years ago. I can't even remember who I played 4 years ago. So, what do we have here? Please not a scrim mirror. Oh boy. Senna's going to take this one. But you kidding me? Senna, ZOCOM, he's just going to take this game, guys. Senna, he's just going to win. Even I struggle to beat this ZOCOM of his. It's so crazy once he gets it up and running. His spam is out of this world. But we'll see how he does it here. This is the regular tournament Dustbowl no poker. I've got several lighting variations of this map, which I sometimes enable. I've got the 2v2 map version, which I have for the 1v1 map, and also a unique night version that I did, which is compatible with this. It's kind of cool. You can change the lighting of the map and not have any desyncs or anything. What you can do though is enable rain or add any object that wasn't on the map in the first place. That does cause desyncs. Is Chinese community big? Not sure. All I know is this player has moved to the west and now he can play versus us. Just remembering because it's not very common to have Chinese players around. Yeah, that's true. There was another guy called Lidoon who was actually rather decent as well. I imagine Rex played him because I think he was like the second best player. There's also several other guys that I recall were very good. I think your Super SB was, if I remember right, from like 10 years ago, was very good. This could even be that player here. Yeah, they got this patch now, R19. They play this now. Because this is the patch to play in all versions of this game. Everyone's migrated over to R19. 1.02x was made by CGF for them. They didn't have their own community modder to do stuff. But a lot of the complaints and issues that they had with 1.02 plus has been actually fixed in R19, which is this. Okay, lightning spike push could be good if he gets down a spike. Let's see if he goes for a
construction complete.
tier 2 here.
Building.
Yeah.
Building online.
Bit too late though. Senna should hold this. Double watchtower comes down. By the time he gets down this lightning spike, it's going to be too late. Maybe he can sneak around and put the spike here. Hard to say. He's going for a portal. What's this going to be for? He made a tier 2. Then you build a portal. Okay, he's going for a tier 3 now. Is Senna building a tier 3? No, he's just going for eco. Yeah, he's just going to spam. Look, he's already queuing Preds and APCs.
Building.
He's going to go infantry and air. He's going to go Shadowers, he's going to go APCs, Preds, he's going to make grenades, he's going to make infantry, he's going to make hammerheads. He's just going to throw everything at him. And you're going to be thinking as a player, how do I stop this? There's just no stopping it. Because he's got everything covered. And that's the strength about GDI. It's not their individual units, it's when they combine all their units together. That's when they're really powerful.
New construction options.
And a lot of players fail to realize that. GDI, for example, if you just spam Pred tanks, Scorpions can get around them and abuse the lack of speed. But if you support them with aircraft, then suddenly you can retreat your Pred army, which would otherwise not be able to go away. The Hammerheads support them nicely. Gunwalker, sacrificed in, will spot the Pred tanks. Shadow tanks is a really good unit here. He's getting upgrades. Oh man, he's going really ham here. He's going just 8 Firehawks. Lethal strategy here coming out of Senna. The way you stop this is shock troopers, but I doubt he knows it. I doubt he knows it. There's a lot of Firehawks about to come out. He sees he doesn't even see the airfield. He did just use the radar scan. That's a really good scouting support power for GDI. The Orca Strike, you can use it to kill growth accelerators as well, which Charles only seems to be concerned about out of everything. He's like, oh, I'm not playing this patch because you can kill a growth accelerator with an Orca Strike. And oh, look how OP these blue shard Ravagers are. I'm killing this Eradicator Hexball with 10 squads. And I'm like, and? You can make 15 or 20 shot troopers with the same amount of resources. And not only can you just kill a hexapod with 20 shot troopers, you can also absolutely massacre a Marv with 4 zone raiders in it with that. So his point is just invalidated. But Charles be Charles, I guess.
New construction options.
Oh, Stormcomp served its role. Killed those Firehawks. Did he save the tech? I think he did.
Construction complete. Our base is under attack. Building.
These still take 2 shots to be destroyed by the column, so it must have been shot up by something else before that happened. There is a Marv out though. Shard launchers as well. We'll get some nice harvester kills. Rex is going to be enjoying some nice kills there. No TMCV. He's going Mammoths. Marv out. That's a problem. Because that's just going to make it impossible to be cost effective for Scrin anymore. Hexapod's going to come out, but it's not going to be out in time, I reckon. Yeah, it's halfway done. The Marv's almost at that tip field. The 3 tripods out. If there's a stasis, he needs to stasis this Marv before he gets in the tip field, man. Because this is just so bad for the Scrin for this to harvest this field. He needs to kill this Marv for free, pretty much. That's what he needs to do. I think Rex is in a good position. If he kills this Marv here for free, he's in a good position. Stasis it, man. Stasis it. You're not going to stasis it, are you? Oh, move in. He's not moving in. Oh, he's moving in now. That's nice. May not even have to use the stasis shield. That's really good. Yeah, that's a big loss there for Senna. Losing the Firehawks and now losing the Marv. Okay, suddenly things have just gone from Senna being in a good position to now Senna having really no chance at all of winning this game because he hasn't made use of those Firehawks. They're just sitting on the deck doing nothing. Pred tanks and a Mammoth tank up in the top, but there's not much else. And this is Scrin, you know, the faction that Charles says is absolutely useless and doesn't win a game. Well, there you go. Years ago, Shocks have the tools to be a nice Firehawk counter. Shock Troopers, the problem with Shock Troopers were, in the original game, they didn't have an acceptable aim delta attribute, which meant that they didn't shoot moving targets at all very well. That's bad because Firehawks obviously move very quickly, so it's very hard for shock troopers to hit them. But I did remedy that in R19. I gave them the same value as the unupgraded shock trooper, so now they can hit the moving Firehawk, which changes it a lot. You can kill Firehawks now with shock troopers. It's an actual counter. Still not a fantastic unit, which I don't recommend you spam, but yeah, they're still good in niche situations, as they should be. Commando gets destroyed there. These are also worse in R18. These plasma missile batteries, they don't have the same clip size as they do in previous patches. Senna doesn't have an expansion, he's going for infantry. I would build Zone Raiders and a Commando. Commandos are better. Zone Raiders need upgrades though. Maybe he's just building infantry, because he doesn't have the other upgrade. Senna just suiciding in forces. Look, what he needs to do here, he needs to sell his construction yard, summon in the Zone Raiders, get EMP grenades and move in. Make a sniper team. It involves heavy infantry. It needs to go heavy infantry. Sell up. He's building infantry though, that's bad, because all that Rex needs to do here is just phase a couple gunwalkers and he can crush this. Whereas if Senna made Zone Raiders, the same strategy wouldn't work because Zone Raiders don't get crushed by gunwalkers. It's silly. He's got all these infantry here. Most of them are riflemen. See how they got the gold packs on them there. I actually found out on the artist's website who did this unit in the first place. I can't remember his name, but I found it on there. I thought it was cool. Paying homage to the artists of the game, having that on in the actual game itself. Yeah, see, the nerf just made that Firehawk live. Firehawk in the 4K mod also has that really damaged texture getting destroyed with it. Hammerheads as well, if you haven't noticed, also have a rubble window destroyed, so they rotate around the physics and go down. There's some debris that EA made but didn't put in the game. That's also in this. Senna, going back for Firehawks once more, I don't really agree with that. I don't know why he's building Firehawks. Just sitting on that deck there.
Construction complete.
What was he really hoping to accomplish? There's still a text in it, but there's a storm column still up and running. He's probably going in for the for that. But yeah, watch this. The storm column is just going to kill it. A high price to pay, but he only gets away actually with 2. That's not too bad. Senna here still somehow spamming units despite not having an expo. Not sure how he does it, but yeah, he's been a bit wasteful as well. No EMP grenades. There's a devastated warship up here, and the thing with this hexpod is he's just going to generate resources. So all of these units of Senna's is just going to go into the bank balance of Rex. Get a lot of resources for the dead units of Senna. How the hell is he affording this though? He gets a Marv out. How Senna, man, it just doesn't make sense to me how he's able to afford all of this stuff. Somehow gets a Marv out, doesn't even have a third expansion. Harvest is being destroyed, so that's an issue. Marv moving in. Is there anything there to meet it? No, there's not. There's nothing there. Does get his tech center down. There's 5 tripods. Okay, never mind. That Marv's going to be screwed. Now Senna's just drawing it out. So yes, Vex coming back into this. It's nice to see Scrin take games off of ZOCOM, something that you rarely see. Yeah, see, that does hardly any damage compared to before. If that was R18, the Firehawk would be about there, the 1/3 health. Just from staying there for a second. These gunwalkers are screwed, not sure why he's sticking around there. Hexapod's pretty safe and sound. Corruptors heal a little slower, the Hexapod, because I did a damage detail scaler with just the Eradicator Hexapod, so it heals a little slower. With Corruptors and Mechapedes, have to account for the Mechapedes as well, because those also get toxin segments, which do heal Scrin infantry units, which no one ever does, but hey, it's a thing. It's actually a better idea in some games to make the toxin segment Mechapede for healing your Hexapod, because it's a quicker unit. It only takes 14 seconds, and it has the healing power of 2 or 2.5 Corruptors. So it only takes 15 seconds to build, and you get basically 2 Corruptor worth of healing. So if you think about it, guys, if you want quick healing and time is of essence, then you get a quicker unit movement speed wise, and also it's better healing rate. Hexapod taking some real damage here. Let's see if that nerf has any impact of this, because as you can see, it's not healing as quick as it used to. Hexapod kind of dancing around there though. Mastermind's still alive there. He's just going to teleport that back, and this Hexapod's going to go down, I reckon. He should just target down the Hexapod, man. Hexapod falls. If that falls, that's devastating. Oh my god, he loses it. How is that possible? But the thing is, Senna has no... He needs to focus on these tripods in his base. Senna... but there's 2 tripods, 3 tripods, he can ping them up. I thought that was not a thing. A Buzzer Hive wall comes down. Almost a throw here by Rex. But Senna will ultimately lose this game with that Marv going down. Hexapod falls. Not sure why no phase was cast. Maybe he used it earlier. And these are Senna's only buildings left, so that's going to be it. He takes out the last remaining structures. Senna loses that game. Steel Talons versus GDI. Okay, finally we got a GDI mirror. Finally, and it took 2.5 hours for a GDI to appear for both sides. Actually, what am I talking about? GDI mirrors are not that fun. But maybe it's going to be more interesting. Uptime, that doesn't work unfortunately, Sugar Up, but I have been live for 2.5 hours. Started streaming almost 3 hours ago. Combat Engineer. This has a different portrait in the Alt 4K mod. Looks better in my opinion. Now this game, I actually did a environment map for this map here where it shows stars instead of the clouds. I don't know if you can notice, but in reflections you can see stars instead of what you'd normally see. I think that's just a little bit of attention to detail that I added in R19. So everything like the hammerhead cockpit window reflection will be stars and the universe instead of it being on Earth, because it is literally in space, so it shouldn't be reflecting the sky. That's a little detail. Will you upload the stream on YouTube? Probably not. I don't know if it's worthwhile to do that. It's definitely a lot of editing when it comes to like scoreboards and stuff. My casts are not well, I mean, I get more views with my own games being played. I don't know, maybe because I just play really unorthodox. People seem to like that more. You know, I typically prefer to try stuff out more than play standard. And I think it's more fun. Not just for people watching, but for me as a player. I prefer to just have fun and see if I can make some weird wacky strats work. Like try and win with one stealth tank versus a whole screen of units. It's what people want to see. They want to see some unexpected things happen. This map reminds me of Total Annihilation, my first RTS game. Never played that. MRT rocket. No rig though. This is something that Bycroft would do if there's a couple pit bulls involved, but he's going for just MRTs. Senna spots it though. Needs to get in there. I think Senna even reclaimed the Tiberium while that was happening. Barracks down for Senna, so yeah, unless there's one of these garrisoned up with a rifleman, they're not going to get too far. Yeah, he's got 4 rifle MRTs, needs to evac 1 rocket and put a rifle inside so he can use it for anti-infantry. Slowly working on a refinery. Senna not queuing rockets, I thought he would. He's only got 2 missiles.
Ready to move out.
Does drop a foxhole there, that's nice. We'll camp the barracks. Guardian cannon comes down. Now that was something that I had to prove in my last 4K update. It's looking real good now though. This Guardian cannon looks legit. That's because something bothered me about it before. Somewhat of a perfectionist, so I obsess over little things. This is doing more damage than what I expected it to. Senna gets down his second refinery but places it backwards, bit frantic trying to hold this back. MRT's much better in 1.02 plus because they do have a quicker repair drone. The repair radius is also more. You can also lift these up with the carrier transports and have them like sort of like hammerheads. They don't have to return to base and they just shoot from above without needing to go back. Another foxhole gets dug there. You can see it has the fixed pattern. It's nice in this. Very nice. Just that's the sort of details again like I focus on instead of the game. My refinery, yeah. I don't place them bad nowadays as much as I used to. I've learned to be more careful with ref placement because I'm a bit more of a low eco player now, and I have, for that reason, I have to make sure that my harvesters and refineries that I do have are not screwed up for my strats to work better. Oh man, can he shoot over that empty space there? Yeah, he can. That's nice. Kills a harvester. 1 was forced back to repair. I think Senna accidentally pulled back 2. There's a counter-attack coming in here for Senna, but I don't think he'll get this harvester. Remember, these are heavy harvesters. They got a little bit more armor compared to the GDI one. And that extra 10% health on the heavy harvester is going to save it. Can you believe it? The heavy harvester there, reigning supreme, being able to bring in that Tiberium alive. Disintegrators inside of APCs would be nice. Yeah, it would be. It's a really fun strategy. I think it would be nice to see a game mode where you can play as 2 different factions. Imagine the sort of strategies that you could devise with the tech tree of 2 factions, or the synergy between the units that you don't have to rely on a teammate for. You can do it in a 1v1, but you'd have to take over your opponent's tech structures. A lot of pit bulls there for him. And you can see it doesn't reflect any sky, just darkness because it's space. MRT is moving in once more. Senna on that tier 3. Gets down another watchtower. No AP ammo. In fact, as I said, that AP ammo does complete. Harvester clipping through that refinery will escape. Will just about live. MRTs get out of there just in time. Nice control by Rex. Rex has seemed to have found a second wind in this game. playing much better than he did before, and this is going to even out the results. So yeah, I was getting a bit, you know, I thought that he was going to get destroyed after this Shroud of 59 surprising him twice in a row. This is nice control as well, evacing those units. Not that it's going to accomplish very much. Hammerheads are just that lethal against infantry. Behemoth's out here for Rex, but he doesn't have anything in them. It would be nice to put some rockets in those just to provide some anti-air support. Plus, your opponent will never expect them, so if he flies in there with a hammerhead, he'll probably get destroyed. That's the thing about garrisons that I really like. They have this surprise element. Mortars online. Gives Pitbulls a means to kill infantry. Does change their role a little bit in the game. They become really good structure harassed units. A little bit better now than they used to be because of the fence not making units and not making structures invincible. So you can actually kill structures now with mortars. I think those are $2,000 in Tiberium Wars. But you have to remember the eco in that game scales relative to the upgrade cost. Bombs the airfield, does Rex, gets away there scot-free with his 2 Firehawks now. Senna does have a tip spike. Senna, Rex's was destroyed, so that's a notable thing to say. A bunch of units moving in here, and as I said before, there's just not enough to support this army. There's infantry coming in, there's no anti-infantry. The Mav tank should weather the storm though, even though they're not designed to counter infantry. There should be enough, and you shouldn't move in and crush because the Behemoths will probably end up splashing down the Mav tanks. And here we see him activating the adaptive armor on those units there. Firehawks, I assume, are on anti-air loadout. Needs to kill those hammerheads and take them out. A bit messy this game. There's a bunch of hammerheads there just to clean up the infantry. Nice work by Rex. No MCV to support this force to reclaim the husks in the middle of the map. And he's just pushing through. Maybe a little bit too much though, because Senna has a bunch of infantry upgraded with the composite armor. Also has the supersonic airstrike, lands a supersonic airstrike on that force. And now a shockwave artillery now comes on this army. And this is looking like a throw by Rex. What was he doing? This is why you need to push in with an MCV. This is precisely the reason why players move in with their army and MCV. Why do players move in with MCV? Because they can put down watchtowers, they can put down the barracks, reclaim husks that get destroyed. You can put down double A defenses, and it ensures that games like this don't happen. Or if you're not building an MCV, at least build an epic unit. A Marv would be great. Now this is an issue because now Sane's just going to take all the husks over, and I don't think that there's any recovery from this. That was a big throw. Finally does move in with his MCV. So that may be a bit of a learning experience there for Rex. He knows now not to do that. He needs to move an MCV in. Getting desperate, using the Firehawks even to bomb the infantry. Hammerhead there, sniping the infantry in the back. I think he limited the amount of husks that were captured. 2 husks there, and he needs to focus on killing. Yeah, that was unfortunate. Now, I'm not calling it just yet. I really like the mortars and dozer blades. It gives these tier 1 units a different role late game. Yeah, that's a good game design. It's unfortunate that only GDI and not factions receive such treatment. The Scrin factions never got upgrades of that nature for their tier 1 units. Like the Gunwalker is still a Gunwalker later on. The Seeker is still a Seeker. It doesn't change its role with an upgrade. But giving units different weapons is really nice with upgrades. So I think this is just a case of fatigue now. Rex had that game in the bag, but made a few critical errors, notably not moving that MCV in or producing a Marv, which led Senna to win that game. So that was that. I don't think I've done so much casting in my life. Over 2.5 hours of me casting. And that's going to conclude these games here. So I would like to thank everyone who has watched this stream. I appreciate you all showing up and watching this. It's been also interesting seeing how Senna and Rex play. We saw a couple good games tonight, and yeah, that's going to be it. So I will catch you all next time.